Welcome back, listeners, to Cosmic Confluence podcast. I'm your host, Sana, as always. And listeners, today we are talking about it's a very beautiful topic. We're talking about true success as frequency. We're talking about, or we're going to explore through the harmony method, not the performative kind, the kind that shows up as inner alignment, clean choices, and a life that actually feels like yours. Now, to think about it, let me share a bit about my guest with all of you listeners. My guest has lived this work, not just taught it. For more than 40 years, she struggled with obsessive eating, bulimia, and her recovery wasn't one magic breakthrough. It was a real journey through what she calls the 6 elements of the harmony method. She took the healing into purpose, back into the nonprofit world, into service and leadership, and now she has put it into a book which is called Harmony, the Frequency of True Success, sharing a pathway for individuals, families, organizations, even communities to come back into alignment. So, yeah, let me tell you, listeners, this is not just a think positive episode. This is a how do you actually live it when life is loud episode. So, listeners, meet my incredible guest, Robin Clare. So, Robin, welcome to the show, and it's really an honor to have you here.
Thank you, Sana. I'm excited to be here and to share the harmony method with your audience.
Beautiful. Robin, let's first try to understand the frequency of true success. I think that is something I personally find kind of very if I would like to romanticize, then it would sound to me very poetic. But then in practical way, when you say the frequency of true success, what do you mean by that?
Yes. So it's when I say the frequency of true success, I believe that this path to living in harmony where your inner world is in alignment with your outer purpose creates a frequency that guides your life. And so frequency felt like the right word as I'm writing this, and I'm being guided to share how I was given this harmony method, these 6 words. And so if your audience would get an understanding. So I was driving to see my mentor, and I'm driving in the car, and I hear these words, commitment, mastery, service, leadership. And I'm said out loud, "That's very cool. Thanks so much." I carry on, right? And I go to my mentor. And then 2 weeks later, I'm driving to her house again, and I'm in the exact same street, the exact same spot, and this masculine voice says to me again, commitment, mastery, service, leadership, and freedom. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Freedom, right? Like, who wouldn't want that, right? But in all of my work, this is my 5th book, the Harmony book. In all of my books, I have been guided to write these books. In service to mankind, because that's what I asked at the beginning of my spiritual journey. How can I be of greater service to humankind, right? And the way that I do that is write books and talk about what I've been given. And every time I have been asked to write a book, it usually has a list in it or steps, and each of those steps are typically divisible by 3. So commitment, mastery, service, leadership, and freedom is 5. Right? So here we are in the science part. So I'm like, that can't be it. And I said this to the voice, you, this can't be it because it's not divisible by 3. And then I heard laughter in the car. And then I heard the voice say, because it's on the other side, it's on the other end. And then he said, awareness, commitment, mastery, service, leadership, and freedom. And I'm like, "What should I do with this?" And the voice said, "Just hold on to it. Don't forget the words." And so I immediately pulled over and wrote them down because I know I'm gonna forget the words. And for at the beginning, these I thought because I'm on the spiritual path, I thought these were the secrets or the steps to a successful spiritual life. Which I
Mhm.
believe it is, right? Because I can explain what each step means. But what I came to know, Sana, is that this is the frequency of true success, meaning you can use this for whatever work you need it for, whether it's a health issue,
Mm.
creativity, a business, a relationship, moving through addiction. You can use these steps to create what true success means to you. And to move into harmony in your life, because what we're trying to do is heal our inner world so that when we know what our purpose is on the outer world, we can live those together, and that creates the harmony. And then that allows us to live from what I call our sovereign, which is our deepest, most connected place to the divine realm. And then we're able to hear what it is that our soul would like us to do next.
Hmm. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, Robin, because, you know, people, I mean, we can hit milestones, but, quietly running on anxiety, approval, or
Right.
burnout. But then the question kind of uh, changes from are you winning to what is winning doing to you? And, um, we often talk like if I kind of go into the business or the professional realm, we often have these conversations around work life balance and then work life harmony. So, Robin, how does exactly if someone is in harmony, and it's not just about your work or your career, holistically, if someone is in harmony, what does exactly it look like, for them on a day to day?
Yeah, so I'm going to the example I'll share is writing my book, right? Writing this book. It was a writing the book, the harmony book was a path to harmony. And so, okay, so awareness, right? That was the first word that the divine shared, right? The success path. So awareness was hearing the words, right? Now mine is a little unusual, right? But hearing the words and knowing that this was just not some random list of words, right? This was a message that needed to be brought out into the world. So that's the awareness, right? Like, I know that this is my soul is calling me to do something with this harmony, these words, right?
Yeah.
So what I decided to do was to write a book about it. And so the next step is commitment. Commitment is really becoming devoted to what you know is the next step on your path. Now, I'm talking very spiritual, but this could be about changing jobs, right? Or leaving a relationship, right? Or creating an art project, right? But what is your commitment? What is your devotion? Are you going to accomplish this? So for someone writing a book, my devotion was every day for 1 hour for 1 year, I worked on this book. Now, there were days I missed, but that was my devotion, right? Because to write a book, you have to actually sit down and write it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that takes commitment with everything else going on in our lives, right? So there's awareness, there's commitment. Mastery was for me to really m- m- understand what are the teachings that I'm teaching here and start to embody them. Like for me, I had to embody the teachings. Like, am I living this? Right? Do I believe it? First of all, right? Do I believe that this is true, these teachings? And am I living them? So that's the mastery when you start to embody them and they become part of who you are, right? Next is service. So I could have written this manuscript, Sana, and left it in my Google Drive, right?
Yeah.
I decided to let it come out into the world. I decided to be of service and share this information from a place of love, right? So that's the service, right? And the next one is leadership. So leadership in this work I find very interesting because it's actually self-leadership, which then turns into external leadership, right? We think of leadership as something outside of ourselves, right? But this is really about self-leadership. Am I walking the walk of these teachings, right? Am I am I someone that someone would say, "Wow, she's pretty calm." And actually 2 people had said to me before I wrote the book, this is why I knew how to write the book. They said to me, "I would like to be calm and peaceful like you, Robin, in my life." And I'm like, "Oh, they just said the same exact thing, 2 people in a row, right?" So there's the universe saying, "Are you listening?" Right? And so that self-leadership is my taking my life and figuring out where am I out of harmony and where am I in harmony in my life? Like, where am I, what example am I leading with? Right. And then harmony itself is when I know that freedom, excuse me. Freedom is the ability to live what I've learned now in my inner world and what my purpose is and the alignment of them, right? That allows for freedom. That's the freedom, which then creates the frequency of harmony, right? That whole journey from awareness to freedom is building a sense of harmony in your life. So your question to me was, how what does it feel like? Right?
Yeah.
And what it feels like is exactly what I'm doing here with you. Is it is knowing that I know it, because I have to say this, I'm sharing this with you and your audience. It took me a while to be able to inch to understand how this information worked enough for me to be able to come on for 30 minutes and explain it, right? I didn't quite know if I had the confidence to do that. Or I just wasn't getting it myself. And if I could, one of the things I think is my personal gift is be able to explain difficult concepts to people in an easy way. And so for me, I had the freedom was when I could and the harmony was when I could take what I've learned, take what I've lived, right? I lived this in my recovery. I lived harmony in my recovery. I'm now 8 years sober. And
Wow.
I've lived, I've lived this in in my relationships and in my day-to-day work. And so that that's the harmony, is that you're living a journey that allows you to walk the walk of what your soul is here to do, not only internally, but externally. So you're living your purpose in a healthy way and one that you know you're committed to what your soul's journey is. And that's why I'm saying it's not just spirituality. If you're an artist, that's a very soul-driven occupation, don't you think? If you're a nurse, right? You're there, you're a healer, right? There's well, if you're a teacher, you're here to develop and build the self-esteem and knowledge of children who are our future leaders, right? Everything serves. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you're serving your family, right? Everything serves your soul's journey for being here. And if you can follow the harmony method, then you come into this place of harmony where you feel uh confident and and not and not filled with anxiety about, "Oh my god, and what am I doing here? Why am I living here? What?" You know why you're here, at least for now. right? Because once you start living according to your soul's journey, then you go on to the next evolution. I'm sure there'll be another book for me or something else I'm supposed to do. But right now, my life is about sharing this harmony method. And so that's the harmony for me is the harmony method.
That is absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful, And I think, yeah, I mean, you really, really explain it so simple, because I think all of these, whether it's about awareness, commitment, or mastery, or service, or self leadership, or freedom, I think it can be really, really sometimes be challenging to explain them in such a within a such short period of time. But yeah, you really did it beautifully. And with harmony, one more thing that I'm actually very curious to know.
Yes.
You do Akashic Harmony Sessions. Like on Cosmic Confluence, we have had so many beautiful guests talking about Akashic Records. So what actually happens? Like, how do you keep it grounded so um it doesn't turn into kind of this thing that people would be skeptic about, or people would say that it's all woo, this is pseudoscience.
Yes. So let's just for a second, explain the Akashic Records once more. I know you've had a lot of people on it. I look at the Akashic Records as that's the home of your soul's past, present, and future lifetimes, and our future. In this lifetime that we're living, we every 18 years we have a new lifetime, which I always find very interesting. You're on the younger side, but I'm not. And so I could see like every 18 years something shifted. So we have those. And so we are constantly our soul is constantly in a state of evolution. And so we look in the Akashic records to see what happened in your past that you're trying to accomplish in this lifetime. Who are the players that have come in to help you? Like, who are you is in your soul family that is here to drive you nuts or help you? We got those people too, right? And who's coming in for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? And then what is it that you want to accomplish? So the way I see it blending so beautifully with the harmony method is because the harmony method is a tool to accomplish what your soul is going to tell you in the Akashic records what's next. And what is it that you're supposed to accomplish next? And then I'm giving you a tool and we can look at what what the request is, right, from your soul to do next, and then we can put it in like a path within the harmony method so that you can ultimately accomplish it both in the external world and the internal world. I think it's like the perfect harmony. No, I'm kidding. It's the perfect blend of of getting to what is your soul's journey if you're unclear, and then how to implement it.
Wow. I mean, uh,
'Cause, right, we don't always know. We get these messages, right, and we don't always know, Sana, how am I gonna do that? Like, "Thanks for telling me, but I don't know." And so hopefully this harmony method is because honestly, when I first heard it and I left that car ride, I was like, "Oh my god, this really applies to everything." Right? Even looking for a job, right? Like awareness, like, "Oh my god, I hate my job. I need something new." Right? And then commitment. I'm gonna apply for jobs, and then mastery. I'm gonna really understand this company, and when I interview with them, I'm going to really talk from a place of knowing what this company's all about, and then what I'm all about, and then service, I'm gonna tell them why I'm the best candidate. And then leadership is about really holding that energy, right? And then the freedom is when the offer comes and you get to do something that you love, right?
of course, of course.
Yeah.
And service, obviously, I mean, in whatever capacity, um, we can serve, maybe through our lived experiences, through, uh, you know, through the gifts that we have received, and we believe that this is beneficial for other people out there. People should know about this. I think there is nothing more nobler than at least trying that. Maybe you won't be able to do it at a bigger level, or leave a huge legacy behind you, but then whatever capacity you can find an opportunity in, not opportunity, but you can find a way out in there, I think that would be a kind of a very fulfilling thing to do in your lifetime.
There's no judgment, right? There's no judgment from the divine realm as to how big or how small you decide to do. It's just you've made a commitment prior to arriving here. So this is, I guess, my spiritual beliefs. And you want to accomplish that. And even if it's learning how to so for example, I wasn't talking about this stuff for years because I had a deep fear of humiliation and I had to get over that. That's what my soul's journey this time said. You need to get over your fear of humiliation, persecution, because honestly, for spiritual teachers like myself, it really never ended well for us in many generations, right? People thought we were evil or witches or whatever, right? They thought, right? And so it didn't end well. Maybe in India it did because you guys were so much further ahead than other parts of the world. But so for me, in order to be able to speak like this, my soul's journey said you need to get over this fear of humiliation and persecution. And I did that, and you know what really triggered me to get over it? It's funny. I realized that no one can judge me unless I give them the title of judge.
But yep.
Otherwise, they're just giving me their opinion, and I can say you or poke you, right? Like I have a choice. Like I can take them as someone who's giving me their opinion and it's valuable to me, or maybe I won't say F you out loud, but I don't have to listen to them, right? But I
Okay.
but if I don't make them judge of my life, then it's just their opinion. And that is so simple, right? But it really I was always afraid of everybody judging me, and I can't in my work, right? And so we have to find that place in ourselves that's holding us back. What is holding us back from living our genius, right? And and it's something, right? It's something. And we need to actually figure out what could that be. And for me, it was a fear of being persecuted.
Persecuted. That's true.
Yeah.
In the interest of time. So if listeners they would like to connect with you to explore more.
Yes,
Little
sure.
more.
Yes, for sure. My website is Robin H. Clare, and it's Robin. H is in hand, and then Clare, Clare. Don't put that I in Claire. Is Clare. And on my site, I have what's called an Akashic Harmony message, and that's a less expensive uh, offering that I have, or people can ask us a question or ask guidance on a situation, and it's a written report that I send them with an answer to their question or situation. So that's on there. The Akashic Harmony message is what it's called.
That's amazing, and listeners. I'll make that easier for you because I'll have all the links and details in the show notes. So just refer to them along with this episode. And Robin, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Sonnet. You did being here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about true success as frequency. We talked about Akashic Harmony Sessions. I mean, this is really, really, and I believe that for our listeners, like if their version of success it looks good but feels bad, I think it doesn't mean that they're broken, but it's just that their system it's asking for alignment. So thank you so
I totally agree.
yeah.
Okay.
And to all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning into Cosmic Confluence. If this episode gave you language for something you have been feeling, Share it with a friend who's been living in grind mode. Take care of your inner world because your outer world is literally built on it. This is your host, Sana, signing off. Thank you.